Hey guys, what's going on? Chancer2 here today, and what I'm going to be bringing you is just a little bit of a walkthrough for the Vision Aarkus fight. I'm going to be showing you the champions that I found make the most sense to bring in against them, and the champions I believe have the most usability against them. So to start off this video, I brought in a 3-star thing. Although not the most powerful champion in my roster, it made sense to bring him in because of the fact that he's immune to armor breaks and armor shatter. So what this does, essentially if he's immune to armor break, he won't be able to get cold snap, and so therefore won't take any passive damage over time that Vision would inflict upon any other character in the game. So obviously if you bring in the synergy with the champion and Heimdall and you bring in a really good version of thing, you might get a bit further than I did. Next up I brought in a 4-star Quake. Now the reason I brought in Quake was due to the fact that when you're charging her heavy, she negates 100% of the opponent's ability accuracy. This means he won't be able to use the majority of his abilities, and he also won't be able to place debuffs on you while you're charging your heavy. As you see here, I slip up and I managed to get debuffs placed on me due to the fact that I wasn't heavying constantly. The best champion I found so far for this fight is Aegon. The fact that I brought in Aegon as a 4-star meant that I could get a higher combo going into the fight, and I noticed while using him that once you get to 100 combo hits, you get an enhanced tenacity. So every time you hit a critical attack, you're going to shrug off any debuffs you have. So this means you'll shrug off both the cold snap and the armor break. While you're building Aegon's combo meter as well, you'll also notice that you can critical attack on a block, which means once you get that crit on the block, whether you hit it in his face or on the block, you'll shrug off that debuff, and it'll just help you a lot in the fight, as you can see. I also brought in Captain America Infinity War due to the fact that when you have a skill champion in your team, such as Aegon, he can shrug off debuffs as long as he has at least one kinetic charge. So this obviously is very helpful if you keep building up your charges, or if you hit the SP3 and get the longer lasting charge. It means you're just going to keep shrugging off that armor break, and therefore you're not going to be able to get cold snap on you. Now obviously the way to usually play Captain America is to parry heavy, but since Vision can shrug off the very first parry that you do, may not be ideal, but you can make it work. I also brought in Captain America because of his high damage output. He usually puts out a bit higher than the other champions depending on what way you play him, especially with the Fury, the 5 kinetic charges and SP2 or 3. As you can see here, I don't get off the Fury, but I decide, okay, I have 3 kinetic charges, I'll throw the SP3, I'll do a little bit of damage, and he puts out a decent amount, about 8-9% of the champion's health. And then inevitably I get caught due to the fact that he has this insane power gain. The last champion that I decided to bring into this fight was Taskmaster. Now the funny thing with Taskmaster is, each time he places a concussion on you by hitting the exploit weakness, it'll actually reduce your ability accuracy a slight bit, and when he gets a debuff placed on him, he lowers the potency of the debuff by 10% each time it's placed. So if you can play well and if you can avoid a ton of damage, you can keep getting the cold snap and the armor break put on you to the point where it actually won't affect you anymore, and it'll just be a standard fight, and the only thing you'll have to worry about is the power gain, which is insanely difficult to deal with on this Vision if you don't control it properly, if you don't bait out those SP1s. But it's not impossible, it's doable. I don't really play very well in this fight, so I wasn't able to take him with Taskmaster. I actually took him with Aegon in a separate clip. But like I said, if you just play it smart, play it cool, make sure you don't take too much damage, you won't actually take damage from the cold snap eventually once you get placed on you a couple of times. And the armor break, once you get that placed a couple of times, you just won't have to worry about it. Some of the other alternatives that I've thought of to bring into the fight in case a certain summoner didn't have certain champions such as Aegon, such as Captain America. Sabretooth, due to the fact that he's immune to cold snap, Iron Man Infinity War due to the fact that when he has an armor up on, he's immune to cold snap. But the only worry with him is that you need to have multiple armor ups on you at once, otherwise you're going to get armor broken. Some other champions then will be Symbiote Supreme due to the fact that he can place a stagger, which will stop the power gains from happening. Doctor Voodoo due to the fact that he can power burn. With this champion, he takes less power is taken from him from power drains, and power locks have a lower duration, but power burns don't actually matter too much. You can use that and it'll work fine. And then with other champions that will not take cold snap damage, or that will shrug off the armor breaker cold snap quicker, will be Awakened Karnak. Now everybody has Awakened Karnak. Like, it's really not that hard to hard to get. Is a terrible champion. So pretty much everybody gets him because the potluck is just there for people to get him. Um, Blade, when he has 3 bars of power, shrugs off debuffs 90% faster. Corvus Glaive, also another great champion. If you get up his charges, he's cold snap immune, and also he'll put out insanely high damage. The last two champions I was thinking of bringing into the fight, which I didn't get to test yet, were Captain Marvel movie version, because she gets an indestructible when she's awakened. Or sorry, when she gets her 25 charges, she gets an indestructible and she gets her furies. Namor with a high sig level also is able to reflect any damage that is done over time while playing aggressive. So if you keep continuously attacking into Vision, you'll not only do insane damage normally, but you'll reflect any cold snap damage, and then you'll just shred him. So that's it, guys, for the video. If you have any other champions that you think would be good against Vision, just drop them down in the comments below for other people to see and to possibly use. I myself am going to test a couple more champions, try to get a little bit more gameplay, and I'll also be uploading a Scarlet Witch in-depth walkthrough, just giving not only the champs that perfectly match them, but also champions that people actually have, because not everybody has a 565 5-star max sig level that will insanely just shit on the champions. Not everybody has them. As you can see, I go in with 4 stars because that's what people have. So I try to make the content a little bit more accessible and a little bit more easier, because I find that if these walkthroughs were uploaded for me, I would be able to get a little bit of help out of them. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Just drop a comment down below and subscribe.